Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is May 13th, 2023, and it's reported that Barcelona have made their final decision in regards to the signing of Vitor Roque. Also, Italian media outlets are reporting that the first offer for Amrabat could be coming next week. And finally, it's being reported that Barcelona have began negotiations for the offloading of Ferran Torres. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. I do apologize for not posting a video yesterday. Unfortunately, I had a very long day at work and I didn't get home until very late at night. And as a result, now there's a lot of news to share with you because when it comes to FC Barcelona, the news never stops. Now, having said that, let's start with the news, but don't forget first to hit that like button and to subscribe to the channel. Now, we'll begin with the news that Barcelona are set to play against Espanyol tomorrow at Cornellà in a match where if Barcelona win, they will be crowned champions of La Liga, which will be the first La Liga title since 2019. Now, there was another option that Barcelona could have been crowned champions before playing the match against Espanyol, but that required that both Real Madrid and Atletico de Madrid lose their respective matches. But today, Real Madrid won their match against Getafe 1-0. So as a result, that option is out the window, and Barcelona need to win their match tomorrow at Espanyol so they could be crowned champions. Now, Barcelona will have all the players available to them as Sergi Roberto has been declared fit. So there is absolutely no injured players, which is of course great news for Xavi. Now if Barcelona win the match tomorrow against Espanyol and are crowned champions of La Liga, it's reported that the club are planning a trophy tour that would start at the Spotify Camp Nou and end at the Arc de Triomphe. And that trophy tour would take place on Monday, May the 15th. And for the first time in the history of the club, it's reported that they are planning this trophy tour alongside the women's team who were already crowned champions a few weeks ago. Now on to the news that Xavi has met with Deco, Jean Laporta and other members of the club in order to begin planning for the summer transfer market. Now, even though Barcelona have not officially hired Deco as a replacement of Matteo Alemany, who will be departing the club on June 30th, it seems that Barcelona have made their final decision and that Deco will be the replacement of Alemany. However, he cannot take that post officially yet because he needs to get rid of his sporting agency because it's a clear conflict of interest to be a sports agent while also the director of football of a club. Now, it's reported that Deco has put his agency on sale, but of course that matter needs to be finalized before he can take his official post as the football director of Barcelona. Now, it's reported that during this meeting between Xavi, Deco and other members of the club, Xavi made clear his intentions or his desires for the summer transfer market, and that Barcelona discussed their plan for how they're going to move during the summer transfer market, especially next week when it's expected that Barcelona are going to get the official green light from La Liga in regards to the feasibility plan. Now, the number one priority remains for Barcelona to register the contracts of Gavi, Ronald Araujo, Marcos Alonso, Sergi Roberto, and to renew the contracts of Dembele and Alejandro Balde. And after all those matters are taken care of, then the club are going to start signing players. But of course, they are going to have to offload players in order to make space for the incoming ones. Now, speaking of signing players, it's reported that Barcelona have made their final decision in regards to the Brazilian Vitor Roque. And it seems that the club have reached out to Atletico Paranaense and informed them that Barcelona will be going after the Brazilian star. Now, we've been talking about Vitor Roque for quite some time. Barcelona have been trying to sign him for several months, but unfortunately his price did go up all the way to 45 to 50 million euros. And as a result, that put the operation on hold because Barcelona did not know whether they can pay that money for the player, even though they do want to sign him, and even though Vitor Roque has made it very clear that he's only interested in coming to Barcelona, despite having offers from Chelsea, Arsenal, and other clubs. Now, it's reported that Barcelona have reached out to Atletico Paranaense after several weeks of silence to inform the Brazilian club that yes, Barcelona are interested in Vitor Roque, that they are going to sign him. However, that they need more time because they first have to resolve their financial fair play rule issues. but then nonetheless, Barcelona will be going after the Brazilian star. Now, this is, of course, great news for Barcelona because Vitor Roque will most likely become one of the best center forwards in the world in the future. And he's also 18 years old, so he has a very long future ahead of him. And hopefully he can come to the club, learn from the best number 9, Robert Lewandowski. So when Lewandowski is ready to retire, then Vitor Roque can take over his mantle. Now, speaking of players who will most likely arrive in Barcelona, it's reported that Barcelona are feeling lots of optimism in regards to the signing of Ilkay Gundogan, whose contract will expire at the end of the season with Manchester City, and who he doesn't want to renew it with a Premier League club. Now, it's reported that Barcelona are in advanced talks with Ilkay Gundogan, who has agreed to reduce his salary drastically in order to be able to come to the club. But in exchange, Barcelona are going to have to offer him a 3-season contract rather than a 2-season contract that Barcelona were first contemplating. Now, it's reported that Barcelona will be able to close this operation once they get the official green light from La Liga in regards to the feasibility plan, which is, of course, is planned for next week. Now, the arrival of Ilkay Gundogan is going to be a great boost for the Barcelona's midfield because he has that kind of creativity that the midfield is currently lacking. Now, speaking of midfielders, the Italian media are reporting that Barcelona will be making their first official offer to Fiorentina for Sofyan Amrabat next week. Now, Barcelona were very close to signing Amrabat during the winter transfer market, but they were unable to do so because, one, Fiorentina were asking for a lot of money, and two, because La Liga informed Barcelona that they didn't have enough space on their wage bill. And ever since, Sofyan Amrabat has been dying to come to Barcelona, and he's even informed the club that he'd be willing to not only accept a lower salary, but to also force his way out of the Serie A club. Now, it's reported that Barcelona think that they can sign Sofyan Amrabat for around 20 to 25 million euros, given that the player will only have 1 year left on his contract, and given that the player is willing to force his way out and force Fiorentina to only negotiate with Barcelona, despite having offers from several clubs in the Premier League. Now, as we've been talking about in these past few videos, Barcelona are not only looking to sign players for the first squad, they're also looking to sign players for La Masia or the Academies teams. It's reported that Barcelona have set their target on the Mexican defensive pearl, Jesus Alcantara. Now, at 6'3" or 191 centimeters, Jesus Alcantara is a tall left-footed center back who's currently on loan with Sporting Lisbon, and he's been doing really well in the Portuguese league, and he has caught the attention of the Barcelona scouters. Now, it's reported that Barcelona are looking to sign Jesus Alcantara for Barca Athletic, and that the Barca Athletic coach himself, Rafa Marquez, has been the one who has requested Barcelona to sign the Mexican pearl. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, in order for Barcelona to sign players, they are going to have to offload some. So it's now time to talk about the players who could be leaving the club. And it's reported that Barcelona have asked Jorge Mendes to find or to get offers for Ansufati for around 70 to 80 million euros. Now, unfortunately, Ansufati has not been performing after his multiple surgeries and injury to his knee. So Barcelona are now looking to offload him since they are going to need to generate around 100 million euros in player sales per the feasibility plan. And it's reported that the club have asked Jorge Mendes to get offers for Ansufati for around 70, 80 million euros because Barcelona do not want to get rid of one of their La Masia pearls for a low offer like a 20 or 30 million euros, which is his current market value. Now, it's reported that there are many clubs in the Premier League who are not only just willing to sign Ansufati, but who would also be willing to pay lots of money for the young player. So we're going to have to see what kind of offers Jorge Mendes will be able to bring the club. Now, speaking of another player who could be leaving the club in the summer is Ferran Torres, and it's reported that Barcelona have begun negotiations with Aston Villa for the offloading of the Barcelona winger. Now, Ferran Torres unfortunately has not been able to live up to the expectations or perform well ever since his arrival from Manchester City. So Barcelona are looking to offload him this summer. However, they cannot offload him for anything less than 42 million euros because if they do, given the amortization of the player, then Barcelona would have to register a loss on their books, which would then impact the calculation of the salary limit in a negative way. Now, it's reported that Barcelona had offered Ferran Torres to Atletico de Madrid in a swap deal with Yannick Carrasco. However, the Madrid club have rejected that swap offer, and they only want cash for Carrasco, and they are asking for 90 million euros. Now, it's now reported that Barcelona have begun negotiations with Aston Villa, who seem to be interested in taking the player to the Premier League. But of course, we are going to have to see how much money Aston Villa are going to offer Barcelona for Ferran Torres. But Barcelona do have one thing going in their favor, and that's that Matteo Alemany will be joining Aston Villa as their football director. And he is a big fan of Ferran Torres, and in fact, he is the person who recommended that Barcelona sign Ferran Torres from Manchester City. Now, speaking of the Premier League, it's reported that Barcelona are expecting an official offer pretty soon from Tottenham Hotspurs from Clement Lenglet. Now, Lenglet is currently on loan with Tottenham Hotspur with no option to buy or obligation to buy, and he has been doing really well in the Premier League, and Tottenham Hotspurs are very happy with his performance, and as such, it's expected that Barcelona will be receiving an official offer from Lenglet in the upcoming days. Now, we will end today's video with the news that there is currently a fight among several Premier League clubs for the signing of the former Barcelona center back Jeanclaire Todibo. Now, Todibo is currently a player of the Ligue 1 club Nice, and he was signed by Barcelona initially with the hopes that he would be one of the future center backs of Barcelona, but unfortunately, due to disciplinary issues, Barcelona ended up offloading him to Nice for 8.5 million euros. Now, Barcelona had reserved 20% of any future sales of the club, and it's now reported that the Premier League clubs are fighting over Jeanclaire Todibo, and they are currently offers for 40 million euros for the French center back. And if that deal does go through, then Barcelona will be looking to make 8 million euros on top of the 8.5 million euros that they already made off his transfer fee, which is of course a great deal for a player that Barcelona only paid for 1 million euros. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.